Back home in Europe, you are not called a grape grower, you're called a wine grower.
Marcus Riedling came to America from Germany in 1985 with an engineering degree following 4 years of study in viticulture, or wine growing. He has been a research viticulturist at the Woodbury Vineyards outside of Dunkirk, New York for 4 years, and now has been named to the coveted position of wine master.
You cannot make wine without knowing how to grow grapes. And you should not grow grapes without knowing how to make wine. For me, the bottom line is that you have to grow your grapes well, because it takes 200 days to grow grapes.
And it all begins here in Chautauqua County at the Woodbury Family Farm, which dates back to 1910. The winery, in operation since 1980, produces Chardonnay, Riesling, and Saval table wines, as well as 3 sparkling wines. Vineyards now total nearly 100 acres. Gary Woodbury is president of the family-run operation.
Surprisingly, Chautauqua County is the largest grape-growing area in the U.S. outside of California. Woodbury Vineyards has been actively planting the European grape varieties since 1971. Really, the secret of a good wine starts right out there in the vineyard. So we tell our people in the vineyard that they're growing the wine. And when they finish with it, we'll just bring it in and bottle it, and it's all set to go.
I noticed it was all hand-picked, no machinery?
At this winery, we try very hard to do everything we can to increase the probability that the wine will be a winner. And in our opinion, the machines which harvest many of the acres of grapes in this area abuse the grapes. We don't want to do that, so as long as we can find the labor to do it, and it's mostly local people, which you saw, we will continue to handpick at this winery.
Robert Woodbury, Gary's brother, is an attorney and serves as the company's chairman of the board. His wife, Paige, is vice president of Woodbury Vineyards.
Paige, tell me a little something about these grapes. I mean, they're clustered so closely. What are they?
These are the Chardonnay grape. That's the same grape that's grown in France and is grown in California and makes the great Burgundies and Chardonnay wines and also the Champagnes. And it's a beautiful grape.
Is there something special about the soil out here?
Oh, this vineyard is fantastic. The gravel soil here, it's a glacial ridge that was laid down 14,000 years ago, and it has nice drainage. The vines go down about 20, 30 feet in the ground, so in dry weather there's lots of moisture, there's lots of nutrients. We're very excited about this vineyard. We think it's it stands up to any of the vineyards in the world in quality. These are very special vines. These are European grapes up here, but for hundreds of years, starting with Thomas Jefferson, people have tried to grow European grapes in this country, and it didn't work because there's a disease in the soil that they can't tolerate. So this grape is grafted. Right down here, there's a graft, and underneath this graft, that is an American vine that goes down and furnishes the roots for the vine. From this graft up, it's the European vine. So we get the European grapes, and they're able to tolerate the things that are in the soil in our country.
We pick the grapes and we bring them into the winery. We bring them in as soon as we can, and then we run them through a machine that's called a stemmer crusher, which separates the berries from the stems and also crushes the berries. Then the crushed berries are immediately transferred to our press, where they are squeezed. The juice is all squeezed, falls into a pan below the press, and is immediately transferred to a tank where it's allowed to settle, maybe for 12 to 24 hours. And then the clear juice, which is on top, we call it racked, but is transferred into another tank, and our winemaker adds the yeast, and chemistry happens. It's pretty simple.
The lab, again, is a control unit. In the lab, you analyze everything that goes on in the cellar. Analyze the juice of bricks, the sugar content, the total acidity, and the pH. If your lab is not in order, your winery is not in order.
What is your annual harvest?
The winery right now is producing about 22,000 cases of wine a year. That's 50,000 gallons of production each year. Now, the vineyards, many of the acres are young, and in the next few years, as they all mature, we should reach our full capacity At least the limit of our dream at the moment is 100,000 gallons per year, which is 42,000 cases. We compiled a long list of gold medal winners and silver medal winners and bronze medal winners and best in shows and best values. And one walks through our tasting room, you can see most of the medals that we have, although we've run out of room.
You taste wine with your senses, with your eyes, with your nose, and with your taste buds. You first look at the wine and judge the color. For example, this one has a ruby red color. Then you swirl it and take the initial bouquet, and then you taste it. You swirl it around your mouth so that all taste buds in your mouth pick up the sensations of the distinguished components of this wine. Then you swallow it.